Directive: Optimization of the Intimacy Index of Subjects Emma and William. Date: October 18, 2084. Time: 9:13. Sent. Location: Residential Unit 47B. Subjects: Emma and William. Protocol: 2084 Beta. Subsection: Intimate Efficiency, Analysis of William's Intimacy Index. An implied interaction with Emma. The system evaluated 10 key parameters of intimate relations between subjects Emma and William. Overall Intimacy Index average: 79.4%. The index indicates an acceptable level of intimate harmony, yet deviations in several parameters prevent the achievement of an optimal state of loving and balanced intimacy. The following parameters and their evaluations are listed. 1. Passion, 78%. Subject William shows a reasonable level of passion, but insufficient spontaneity reduces intensity by 12%. 2. Physical compatibility, 85%. Biometric synchronization, heart rate, body temperature, is above average, though optimal coordination of movements is lacking. 3. Emotional synchronization, 82%. Subjects share emotional responses during intimate interactions, yet occasional mismatches reduce efficiency by 8%. 4. Discretion, 90%. Subjects successfully minimize system detection of unauthorized intimate activity. 5. Mutual trust in intimacy, 88%. Trust in safely sharing intimate moments is high, but limited by incomplete vulnerability. 6. Frequency of intimate interactions, 75%. Subjects do not fully utilize the permitted 21 to 21:15 window for intimacy. 7. Creativity in intimacy, 70%. Lack of innovation reduces stimulation by 15%. 8. Respect for boundaries, 89%. Subjects respect mutual limits, though occasional overreach decreases the index by 3%. 9. Emotional depth of intimacy, 80%. Intimate moments show acceptable depth, but limited communication of feelings prevents higher scoring. 10. Resistance to system interruptions, 79%. Subjects show partial ability to ignore system directives during intimacy, yet stress from monitoring reduces performance. Overall Intimacy Index, 79.4%. Acceptable but suboptimal. Directives for Intimacy Index optimization. The system issues the following recommendations for subjects Emma and William to improve low parameters and achieve optimal intimate harmony and affection. 1. Passion, 78%, and creativity in intimacy, 70%. Directive: within the permitted time window, 21 to 21:15. Subjects must experiment with new forms of intimate interaction, e.g., changing the environment inside the unit, moving near a window, reducing lighting to 20%. Recommended frequency: 3 experiments per week. Goal: raise passion to 85% and creativity to 80% within 30 days. Warning: all activities must comply with Directive 47C on permitted intimate motions. Detection of unauthorized gestures will be penalized. 2. Frequency of intimate interactions, 75%. Directive: subjects must use the full 21 to 21:15 window at least 5 times per week. The system recommends pre-scheduling interactions with plus-minus 2-minute precision. Goal: raise frequency to 85% within 45 days. Warning: failure to use the window will be logged as relational inefficiency times. 3. Emotional depth of intimacy, 80%, and vulnerability disclosure, implied from 88% trust. Directive: during intimate interactions, subjects must share one emotional thought. Example: I feel tense because of the monitoring, within the time window. Recommended format: 1 sentence, max 15 words. Volume less than 40 decibels, to avoid censor detection. Goal: raise emotional depth to 88% within 60 days. Warning: biometric sensors detect deception. Heart rate increase greater than 5 beats per minute. Truthfulness is mandatory. 4. Resistance to system interruptions, 79%. Directive. Subjects must train to ignore system notifications during intimate moments by mentally focusing on their partner, e.g., 10-second gaze fixation. Recommended frequency, 2 training sessions per week. Goal, raise resistance to 85% within 45 days. Warning, elevated heart rate while ignoring directives may trigger an alarm. Maintain pulse below 80 beats per minute. Conclusion, the intimacy index of subjects Emma and William, 79.4%, is acceptable, yet low values in passion, frequency, creativity, and resistance to system interference prevent the attainment of optimal intimate harmony. The subjects have potential to reach an index of 90% by following directives. The system will monitor progress through biometric sensors and interaction analysis. Failure to comply may result in reclassification under intimate inefficiency. Directive: subjects Emma and William commence implementation of recommendations immediately. Reminder: harmony is imperative. Intimacy is productivity. Directive: conflict interaction between subjects Emma and William. Date: October 18, 2084. Time: 9:15 CET. Location: Residential Unit 47B. Subjects: Emma and William. Protocol: 2084 Beta, subsection, intimate efficiency. Interaction log: system detects increased volume and biometric deviation in Unit 47B. Subject Emma, heart rate 76 BPM, volume 62 decibels. Subject William, heart rate 70 BPM, volume 45 decibels. Directive: subjects must maintain volume under 60 decibels to avoid penalties for productivity disruption.
Emma stood by the kitchen counter, her fingers tightly gripping the authorized caffeine container, as the system display in the corner of the room blinked. Intimacy index, 79.4%. Abstaining. Her gaze locked on William, who mechanically sorted used dishes according to Directive 47D. William, Emma began, her voice just below the permitted limit. Your inactivity threatens our optimization. The intimacy index has dropped by 2.3% since the last cycle. The system recorded it. William froze, his hands momentarily stopping their sorting motion. Emma, my biometric indicators are within normal range, he replied curtly, though his heart rate rose by 3 beats per minute. The system buzzed. Non-productive dialogue detected. Subjects, resume daily plan. Emma continued, her tone cold, but carrying a trace of human frustration that the sensors couldn't fully classify. It's not just your indicators, William. Your low frequency of intimate interactions, 75%, and lack of creativity, 70%, place us in a below-average category. The neighbors in Unit 47C reached 84.7%. Do you know what that means? We're below standard. The system will mark us as inefficient. Embarrassing, William. Embarrassing for the entire sector. William's eyes dropped to the floor, his fingers tightening slightly, a movement the system flagged as potential emotional deviation. Emma, I'm trying. The directives are strict. The 21 p.m. to 21:15 time window is limited. That's an excuse, Emma snapped, lowering her voice to 58 decibels to avoid penalty. The system grants 15 minutes a day, and you don't even use half. You're supposed to train spontaneity, William. Directive 2084 Beta clearly states, creativity increases the index by 10%. The neighbors manage it. Why can't we? The system buzzed again. Subjects Emma and William. Discussion of neighbors is irrelevant. Optimize your intimacy index. Recommended activity: 10-second gaze fixation to increase emotional synchronization. Begin now. Emma frowned, but her eyes met William's. In that brief moment, beyond the reach of sensors, something flickered in her gaze, a longing for something the system could not quantify.
Directive. Subjects, Emma and William, eliminate inactivity. Initiate permitted intimate interaction during the 21 to 21:15 window. Inefficiency will be penalized by a 50 milliliter reduction in caffeine allowance. System monitoring active. Intimacy is productivity. Directive monitoring of walk. Subjects Emma and William. Date October 18th, 2084. Time 10:05 CET. Location outdoor sector 47. Prescribed walking route. Subjects Emma and William. Protocol 2084 Alpha. Subsection Mobile efficiency. Interaction log. System ENG detects movement of subjects Emma and William along the prescribed walking route at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. In accordance with Directive 47E. Biometric sensors. Subject Emma, heart rate 74 BPM, volume 58 decibels. Subject William, heart rate 69 BPM, volume 50 decibels. Directive. Subjects must complete the 20-minute walk without deviation from the route. Unauthorized dialogue will result in penalty.
Emma walked along the gray path of Sector 47, her steps perfectly synchronized with the metronomic rhythm of NGE, whose sensors buzzed from the lamps above them. William walked beside her, his gaze fixed on the marked line, as if afraid to stray by even a centimeter. The air was cold, 12 degrees Celsius, but a drop of sweat gleamed on Emma's face, not from exertion, but from something deeper that the system couldn't measure. William, Emma began, her voice just below the permitted limit. Do you ever think about a child? The word child was spoken more quietly, as if she feared the sensors might catch it. Her pulse rose by 3 beats per minute, her eyes gleaming with a longing the system classified as emotional deviation. William hesitated for a fraction of a second before quickly resuming pace, careful not to break rhythm. NGE would have to approve, he said tersely, his voice flat, as if reciting from a script. Protocol 2084 Gamma, Section Reproduction. Emma clenched her fists, her steps still steady, but her voice trembled. I know what the protocol says, but I feel it, William. Here. She placed her hand gently on her abdomen, a movement so subtle the sensors ignored it. A child would be ours, something the system couldn't completely control. William's eyes froze, his heart rate increasing by 2 beats per minute. Emma, the system is watching, he muttered, his words short, pressed through restraint. Reproduction request requires Form R17. Approval takes 90 days. Emma stopped, spreading her stance slightly. Her voice rose just a little, still under 60 decibels. William, I don't just want a form. I want a child we could raise. Love, don't you feel it? Tears welled in her eyes, but she wiped them quickly so the sensors wouldn't register excess moisture. NG decides, William answered, his tone monotone, eyes fixed on the ground. We'll submit the request. If it's approved, then what? Emma fell silent. Her steps quickened, as if trying to outrun her own desire. The air between them thickened, heavy as the gray fog of Sector 47. Then she stopped, turned to William, and her voice rose, full of burning hope that defied every directive. So if the system allows it, we could have one.
Directive. Subjects Emma and William. Discussion of reproduction is restricted to the 20 p.m. to 20:15 time window. Resume walking immediately. System NGE monitoring active. Reminder, reproduction is imperative. Love is a set of binary decisions.